Call this meeting to order. Pledge allegiance. Roll call. Donahue. Here. Donahue here. Holly. Here. Holly here. Farnwell. Here. Farnwell here. Osling. Osling absent. Thompson.
Here.
Thompson absent. Carr.
Here.
Carr here. Pittman. Here. Pittman here.
I know.
No, I said here. Oh, I'm sorry. Osling, I'm sorry, yeah. Slattery. Slattery absent. Poulos. Here. Poulos here. Johnson. Johnson absent. Frausto. Frausto absent. Mulatto. Here. Mulatto here. Vieta. Vieta absent. Rita.
Here.
Rita here. I'm present.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to number 4, presentation of board proceedings. I need a motion to approve the city council minutes with the date of August 28, 2018. Motion by Alderman Poole, second by Alderman Pittman. Any questions? Roll call.
Donahue.
Aye.
Donahue, aye. Holly.
Aye.
Holly, aye. Farnwell.
Aye.
Farnwell, aye. Thompson.
Aye.
Thompson, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Pittman.
Aye.
Pittman here. Poulos.
Aye.
Poulos, aye. Mulatto.
Aye.
Mulatto, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye.
Move on to the next section, public comment. Again, we'll limit it to 3 minutes. Sit up on the agenda. Alderman, go ahead.
Want me to stand up there?
Whichever way you want.
Okay, this isn't really me speaking, so, one of my constituents asked me to bring this up at a council meeting, and he gave me permission to use his name and address. His name is Jose Alvarez, so just think of me as Jose. And his address is 12018 Elm Drive. I had quite an extensive conversation with him about his property. He has numerous complaints about the golf course, and as he stated, and as most people would realize, his home was there long before the golf course. He's not living in one of the townhomes that were built along the golf course. He and his neighbor have extensive damage to their garage from golf balls hitting them, damage to the frames of their windows. I took pictures when I was out there. He told me he had mowed his lawn the day before, and there was 6 golf balls in his lawn. His chief concern really is that he's unable to use his backyard. He can't have his grandchildren come over, he can't have a cookout in his backyard because golf balls are continually flying in. I think maybe we should invest money in golf lessons, because when I looked at a map, I can't believe how far off these people are hitting these golf balls, but it's pretty obvious that they're making quite a trip. He also complained that the fence, the golf course fence is down
By the railroad track.
by the railroad tracks, and he said teenagers are walking along the railroad tracks to the point where the fence has been knocked down, and they're partying in the golf course in the middle of the night. So I told him I would bring it up. He said that he's been to your office.
Yes, we've spoken, and then in fact, we could try to address some of these issues. We haven't completely addressed them. We'll continue trying to monitor and see how things are going.
Okay.
But thank you for bringing that to our attention.
All right.
We'll continue that.
Thank you.
Anything else? Any other comments? I'll just need your name and address. If you want, can you do it from there? Okay.
Hi, Jude Coyle, 15208 Costa in Midlothian. And you guys should know by now what I'm here for.
Yes.
Beginning of our Christmas season. Well, thank you. Benefit start is October 6th at Double Play. And I'm just inviting everybody, and I've got flyers. And I also ask if anybody's interested in donating a basket, get a hold of me on Facebook is the easiest thing. The other thing is, anybody interested in doing a food drive, you know, please let me know, and I will figure out a way to pick it up. But if we could, with the food drives, if we could get them in before Thanksgiving. So I hope to see all you guys there. Thank you for everything.
Again, we want to thank you for all these years. Even as an alderman, I remember what Angel Touch has not only done for Blue Island, but for the surrounding communities, yourself and your family, and all the volunteers. Again, thank you, and we will continue spreading the word regarding Angel's Touch.
Oh, we appreciate it very much. Also, if I can have my usual corner,
Sure.
I appreciate it. I hate to say it, but we're not all in the best of health, so this might not last all that long.
So now, I guess now it's people to start moving up and contributing and helping out.
That'd be nice.
All right.
Okay.
We'll spread the word. Thank you very much for everything that you and your organization do.
I'll tell you what, to anybody who is interested, it is a wonderful, wonderful feeling. You get more back by helping out than you do sitting on the sidelines and watching.
Correct. Thank you
Okay,
again.
thank you very much.
Anyone else? Now I'll move on to report of city officials, presentations, and resolutions. I'll start with resolution number 2018-026. It's a resolution of respect for Susie Esparza. You wanna? I'm gonna come down there out of respect for the family.
I look yours.
In fact, on Sunday, I went on behalf of all of us from the city of Blue Island and spoke to Candido Esparza, the husband of the late Susie Esparza, because they had the service, memorial service out in Joliet. It was a very difficult time because the last time I had seen him was he and his wife was at St. Benedict Fest. And what was touching for me is that I had taken a picture not only with her, but with one of her girlfriends, Jackie, and they used that same photo at the service. I was on where they rotate the photos. And surprising enough, and I had Candido smile a little bit. I don't know if you know, I participate with my aunt in the folkloric Mexican dance troupe, and we always perform at St. Benedict Fest. And I always wear the folkloric whole tier from hat, sombrero all the way down. And on that particular day, I had a black sombrero, big one. And I took it off, and I'm walking around still dressed in the folkloric dance thing. And I took it off, and she spotted me. She goes, "Could I wear it?" I said, "Sure, you want a photo op? It's fine, here's a sombrero, put it on." And so she took a photo of it with the Mexican sombrero on. And that also was part of the display of photos at her memorial service. So that was touching for me, that it meant so much and for her that photo was there. So let me give you a little history and read the following resolution, and we will hopefully get the approval of the City Council. And it reads as follows. A resolution of respect for Susie Esparza. Whereas Susie Esparza, 43-year resident of Blue Island, was a loving, devoted, kind-hearted wife, mother of 3, Christian, Alec, Elisa, and grandmother of CJ. And whereas Susie was happily married for 23 years to her childhood sweetheart, Candido. And whereas Susie dedicated her life to family and friends and anyone who was in need of a hot meal or an ear to listen to. And whereas after Susie's untimely death, she still dedicated herself to others by being an organ donor and saving someone else's life. And whereas Susie was recognized by Christ Hospital in Oak Lawn, in which a purple flag was raised in her honor. And whereas Susie will be honored by those recipients, family and friends for giving of herself. Whereas Susie will indeed be missed and remembered for her contagious smile, unselfish acts of kindness, and touching hearts of so many lives. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and City Council of the City of Blue Island, County of Cook and State of Illinois, do hereby acknowledge the late Susie Esparza for her kindness and magnanimity. passed this 11th day of September 2018. So I need a motion. A motion, Alderman Lotto, second by Alderman Donahue. Any questions? I'll need roll call.
Donahue.
Aye.
Donahue, aye. Hawley.
Aye.
Hawley, aye. Farinwald.
Aye.
Farinwald, aye. Thompson.
Aye.
Thompson, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Pittman.
Aye.
Pittman, aye. Poulos.
Aye.
Poulos, aye. Fausto.
Aye.
Fausto, aye. Bellato.
Aye.
Bellato, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. 10.
And so the people who don't know, both she and her husband were riding on a motorcycle around Calsac Trail and Route 83. And they were broadsided by a person suspected alleged by a DUI driver. And she died literally a couple of days after because they had to maintain her alive for her to donate her organs. But again, it was very touching and very sad that it affected that family. The family very much involved. I know she was very much involved, not only in Eisenhower, but in the grammar schools, in our community, attended a lot of the events. And as I mentioned, she had that contagious smile. She had that contagious smile. So again, keep her in your prayers and keep Candido in your prayers because he's going to need it. And I'm going to ask everybody to stand up in memory of September 11th, 2021. It was 17 years ago today. In fact, we had a service at the police department with all our first responders. That was a day that changed all of our lives. Not only here locally, not only here in the state, not only here in this country, but worldwide as to what we do every single day. Again, to all those first responders who gave the ultimate sacrifice, instead of running away from danger, they ran into danger. Whether you're a police officer or a fireman, they did the ultimate sacrifice to this day. And I want to thank all Blue Adventers who, at that time, hours after the incident, who served their country, they got the call, and they didn't hesitate, and they left our community to go defend this country. And to the civilian workers, I have family members both in the military and in civilian life who went to ground zero to try to rescue and then clean up the debris. To all those men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice, including the canine units, and people from all across the world who gave the ultimate sacrifice. So we can have a moment of silence for all the people who died on that particular weekend. Thank you very much. You have a seat. I'm going to start out by this information. 2018. Yes, we're all proud of this. The best of the best award for intergovernmental cooperation. On May the 24th, 2016, the City Council approved a resolution approving the intergovernmental agreement for the joint use of the John D. Vita Recreation Center and the Carly Jackson Jr. Gym, and authorizing the execution of related documents. The Blue Island Park District and the City of Blue Island was awarded the 2018 Best of the Best Award for Intergovernmental Cooperation. And again, on behalf of the city, congratulations. I would now ask that Park Director's Executive Director Tom Wogan step up and give us a brief presentation. Welcome.
Hello. My name is Tom Wogan. I'm the Executive Director of the Blue Island Park District. It's a pleasure to be before this body again. I've got to take this picture. So, one more time. On behalf of the board, our board commissioners of the park, a couple of our members are here today. Our board president, Ted Ruthenberg, who you all know, board commissioner, Vinnie Branchetti, and then three board members not present, we have Zolman, Catello, William Choa, and Brandon St. Ledger. On behalf of the board, we want to say thank you to the city, and I always like to try to come before the board at least once a year to talk about kind of what we're doing between the park and the city. A pillar of our belief at the park is that we work best, and this whole operation works best when there's strong intergovernmental cooperation. And the main reason of that is the taxpayers get better services, our operations tend to run smoother. And so whenever possible, we try to be good civic partners. Whether that's providing physical materials like chairs and tables and trash cans for the fireworks show or other events, providing some physical materials like sand at the golf course or mulch at the rec center. We just try to be good partners. But the kind of cornerstone of the partnership between the city And the Park District has been our partnership built around the John D. Reed Rec Center. So last year, working with... Okay, thanks. Usually my voice is pretty loud and stuff. So last year, working with Browntown Communication, Kevin and Sarah Brown are here. We submitted for an award for Best Intergovernmental Partnership. They got a little over 100 submissions, and so what they do is they choose the top 3, and the first one they pulled out of that hat was ours. And I think it speaks to the quality of what's going on at that rec center. And so a couple people I just kind of want to bring up and mention that I would be remiss before I give a little bit of a narrative and then show a real quick video. Bob Jackson is here. Bob works, we got Bob. Bob does a terrific job at the rec center. He is an excellent partner. He's always there answering the phone when I need him, and I try to be there as much. And he's been an absolute major piece of building this partnership. And so thank you, Bob. And also, it is the John D. Reed Rec Center, and so I think it's worth pointing out that, of course, Alderman Nancy Rita and her brother John Jr. is also here. John was a major part when he was here at the city of making this partnership work. And
John, you want to stand up so that people know that you're here?
I do want to mention just a couple of my staff members that are here because they make this work in a big way. Josh Edwards, our new recreation director, our new assistant director over recreation. Josh is responsible for all of our building our recreation programs, including everything that's gone very well at the rec center. Will Cazares, our marketing director, is here. Alex Gonzalez is here, who is the smiley face you see when you sign up for programs at the park. I hope I'm not missing anybody here. If I am, I'll try to correct myself. But we all know the story here. In 2013, there was no rec center in Blue Island. The old one was no longer safe to use. The new one had been built, being renovated, but it wasn't ready yet. And when it was ready to go, there was a lack of programming at the time, and so there was a really good reason for the Park District to be able to step in. And amongst the things that we really did well was resurrect from the grave a very important basketball program that went from not existing to now having over 120 participants in 2017. So that's an excellent program. Really working together, the City of Blue Island entered into that formal intergovernmental partnership that the mayor mentioned, and we have been able to build and continue to build really quality programming. I think it just speaks to what happens when the kind of quality, affordable programs that Blue Island residents will get and deserve when our governments are working well together. So we have just a real brief 4-minute video that was part of this submission that I think kind of tells the story better than I can. So on behalf of the Park District, thank you to the city for all your help in making this work, and we look forward to a very strong partnership and growing even stronger moving forward.
Thank you very much. Could somebody cut the lights so that we can...
Which light switch is it?
Thank you very much.
It's not that one.
There it is.
See this one here. Not the back.
There.
While I was growing up, I lived on the south side of Chicago, and I really didn't have, well, my parents didn't have enough income to send me to a travel team or to send me to a top-notch school, but I did have a cost-effective Park District program that I could play. I kind of took that from my past and just say I wanted to offer this for kids now in the Blue Island Park District. So
at first I thought, okay, this is just something where my son woke up one day, literally one morning, and said, I want to play ball. So I go, okay, we'll find something around here. I don't really want to travel too far until I know if he's even going to stick with it. So I saw that they had the program here because his school played against them during our season. And I saw that they really took the time to teach them. No, it was structured teaching, it was promoted, they had the flyers, it was a league, it seemed very official.
Where's this facility, this gym at in Blue Island?
So the John D. Reed Recreation Center is located in the Gardens area in Blue Island. It's actually been closed for the past 3 years, and it just reopened 1 year ago.
When I got back to the city in 2013, working with the administration, this was one of the priorities that we were working on, was getting that building back, of which we did. The building was in terrible shape. It was much worse than we anticipated once we got inside it. So we made a substantial investment in that building to get it into the shape that it is in today. And I know if you go in there, you see what a nice job was done. Working with the Park District, we were able to enter into an agreement where they would bring certain programs down there in certain parts of the schedule.
Cheerleading, football, anything like that, you would go to the field house. This was the home base for activities. So then next thing you know, this place was, and it was being used. It wasn't just, come in if you want to or not. It was actually getting activities. So that really surprised me a lot to see it kind of reborn,
I mean, our fee is pretty low. That's 10 games. At the end of the 10 games, we have a playoffs. So that might end up rolling to like 12, 13 games. And then also the kids receive a jersey from the Park District too. And then at the end of that, at the end of the season, we have, for the summertime, we have a pool party. And then for the fall and winter, we have a huge award ceremony inside of this gym.
You get your medal, they get the little backpack that says the Blue Island Park District and everything, which he carries around everywhere. It's like, his the gym bag that the athletes wear and everything.
I want these kids to see different basketball. There's always different styles of basketball, even right down the street from you. So I want them to see, all right, this team plays like a 2-3 or a 1-3-1. How can I break this down? And this team plays a man. How can I break this down? That main thing with them learning the fundamentals of offensive set and the defensive set, once they move on to the next level, like junior high or high school, they've already accomplished those things in the Park District setting.
And you can ask for anything better. It's based on your schedule. It's very budget friendly if you're looking for especially something that you don't know how long they're going to be playing for. They do a big emphasis on teamwork, which is one thing that I loved. I love that they really stress that it's great that you can be the next LeBron James or Steph Curry because you have those long shots and you can dribble. That's great. But you have 4 other players on the court with you that we want you to work with. We want you to work with them on, if you're a great shooter, teach them, help your teammate and everything. So they emphasize that, and I love that about the program, definitely.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say congratulations to the Park District on your cooperation award. Cooperation, I think, is the key word. When we're all cooperating and working together, roads get paved, bridges reopen, and dilapidated closed rec centers are reopened. So thanks again, and congratulations, Teddy and team. Thank
you. Move on to the council. Oh, go ahead.
Speaking of former park commissioner, I was on there for 12 years, and being a park commissioner is not paid, no expense account. A lot of time, the only other elected position worse than that is being a school board. You got 4, 6, 8-hour meetings. But I remember going to these, we go to the convention for the park districts, and there was always north suburban park districts that would get a lot of these rewards, and it was very rare. We would submit, and we'd always lose to these big park districts. Tinley Park, Frankfurt Square, Aurora, Naperville, these huge park districts. So it's actually a huge deal for out of there's like 1,300 park and recreation associations in the state of Illinois, and they won the best. That's a huge distinction for the city of Blue Island. And I just want to say from personal experience, like I said, I was there for 12 years, and every single year we applied for these kind of awards and never got it. So congratulations.
It says the following: the new scenic segment east of Ashland is now open. Come hear about the new mile of trail crossing the Little Calumet River near Face Point, just east of Ashland Avenue, connecting to Whistler Woods and the Major Taylor Trail. Project sponsors and consultants will provide an update on the schedule for completion of the remaining links in the entire 26-mile Calsac Trail. connecting to an even wider network of trails. Speakers will include representatives of the forest preserves of Cook County, which will include the General Superintendent Arnold Randall, Forest Preserve Commissioners, the City of Blue Island, and Friends of Cal-Sag, and the date will be the following: Monday, September the 24th at 7 p.m. here in the East Annex. And I'll repeat, the meeting regarding the Cal-Sag Trail update is a public meeting on Monday, September the 24th at 7 p.m. here at the City of Blue Island's East Annex. Restoring Blue Island's tree canopy. Blue Island Going Green, BITG. I want to thank you to Blue Island residents, Val Kiko, who's spearheading this wonderful endeavor. Thank you to our local officials, Alderman Bill Farnwell and Tom Hawley, for their efforts on making it happen. Michael Dugan from Oaklands, Morton Arboretum, Mariana's Nursery for donating trees, training, and labor, Principal Steele, the Mazel, Browntown Chamber, Blue Island Public Works Department. Thanks for everyone who has encouraged this effort from donating time, labor, and generosity to help restore our tree canopy. But again, volunteers are needed. The next tree planting is scheduled for Saturday, September the 22nd from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at two locations at Veterans Memorial Intermediate, located at 12320 Green Avenue, and Kerr Middle School at 12915 Maple Avenue. Up to approximately 20 trees, 60 trees, will be planted in the parkways, yards, mainly in the northwest side of the City of Blue Island. Please sign up or donate by calling our office or on Facebook or Twitter. Blue Cap Foundation Tag Days. Again, volunteers are needed on October the 5th, Friday, October the 5th, and Saturday, October the 6th. Repeat, volunteers for Blue Cap Foundation Tag Days are needed for Friday, October the 5th, and Saturday, October the 6th. Please call Blue Cap and ask for Amanda Moraksky for scheduling. And in regards to Blue Cap, I know they're having a major roaming the island or roaming Blue Cap vintage car show on the 15th, which is this coming Saturday, from early afternoon to around 7:38 p.m. at Broadway and Division. It's this coming Saturday. Food pantries servicing Blue Island and Robbins. This was just officially opened on Tuesday at 2155 Broadway, Market Street, rear building of the old Blue Cap. It's open Tuesdays from 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. You only need to bring a resident ID, a piece of mail showing proof you're eligible to receive free food once a month. For more information, again, call Blue Cap. And one last announcement from Bethel Church. Congratulations to Bethel Church for celebrating their 70th, I repeat, their 70th anniversary on Saturday, September the 29th at 5 p.m. and all are welcome. City Clerk, any business?
Yes, I have a few things this evening. I need a motion to approve a request from the Blue Island Untouchables to have their annual homecoming parade on Saturday, September 29, 2018, beginning at 10 a.m. until 12 noon.
Motion by Alderman Vila, second by Alderman Bellato. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Donahue.
Aye.
Donahue, aye. Hawley.
Aye.
Hawley, aye. Farnwell.
Aye.
Farnwell, aye. Thompson.
Aye.
Thompson, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Pittman.
Aye.
Pittman, aye. Poulos.
Aye.
Poulos, aye. Frausto.
Aye.
Frausto, aye. Bellato. Bellato, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. 10 ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
Next, I need a motion to approve a request from the Friends of the Park to hold their trunk or treat at Memorial Park on Sunday, October 29, 2018, from 11:30 a.m. until 5 p.m.
I had seen Alderman Pittman. You want to take the lead, Alderman Pittman, on this one? Alderman Pittman, second by Alderman Frausto. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Donahue.
Aye.
Donahue, aye. Hawley.
Aye.
Hawley, aye. Farnwell.
Aye.
Farnwell, aye. Thompson. Thompson, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Pittman.
Aye.
Pittman, aye. Poulos.
Aye.
Poulos, aye. Frausto.
Aye.
Frausto, aye. Bellato.
Aye.
Bellato, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. 10 ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I need a motion to approve a request from Veterans Memorial Middle School District 130 to have their annual bicycle parade on Friday, October 5th, starting at 9 a.m.
We have a motion by Alderman Carr, second by Alderman Vito. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Donahue.
Aye.
Donahue, aye. Hawley.
Aye.
Hawley, aye. Farnwell.
Aye.
Fairwell, aye. Thompson.
Aye.
Thompson, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Pittman.
Aye.
Pittman, aye. Pulos.
Aye.
Pulos, aye. Frausto.
Aye.
Frausto, aye. Bellato.
Aye.
Bellato, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. 10 ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Any bids?
I did receive one correspondence today from the Knights of Columbus asking to do a tag day, 119th and Western, on Saturday and Sunday, the 21st, 22nd of September. That's before our next council meeting. So the consensus to allow it.
Is there a consensus among the council?
Thank you. That's it.
Any bids?
No bids.
City treasurer?
All the council members should receive the reconciliation bank statement ending August 31st, 2018.
You speak in the microphone, I can't hear you.
Reconciliation statement, bank statement for August. Reconciliation statement, bank statement, ending August 31st, 2018.
Need a motion? Motion, please. Okay, motion by Alderman Donahue, second by Alderman Fairwell. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Donahue.
Aye.
Donahue, aye. Hawley.
Aye.
Hawley, aye. Farinwald.
Aye.
Farinwald, aye. Thompson. Thompson, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Pittman.
Aye.
Pittman, aye. Pulos.
Aye.
Pulos, aye. Frausto.
Aye.
Frausto, aye. Bellato.
Aye.
Bellato, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. 10 ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Also, the accounts payable fund transfer from the corporate from restricted and non-restricted funds, a total of 446, 12109.
Need a motion, please. A motion by Alderman Hawley, second by, any seconds? By Alderman Carr. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Donahue.
Aye.
Donahue, aye. Hawley.
Aye.
Hawley, aye. Farinwald.
Aye.
Farinwald, aye. Thompson.
Aye.
Thompson, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Pittman.
Aye.
Pittman, aye. Pulos.
Aye.
Pulos, aye. Frausto.
Aye.
Frausto, aye. Bellato.
Aye.
Bellato, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. 10 ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Lastly, I'd like to inform the council that our tax anticipation warrant that was, is coming due in October, probably be paid hopefully before the next council meeting, so I'll just inform you that that will be paid. Thank you.
Thank you very much. City attorney?
Yes, number 2 will be removed. We're waiting to hear from the city's insurance representative as to whether the required insurance, the water reclamation, or the insurance the water reclamation district requires can be provided. The only other item on the agenda is ordinance number 2018-047, an ordinance prohibiting parking upon a portion of a certain street within the city of Blue Island, County of Cook, State of Illinois, and providing penalties for the violation thereof. This is Minnesota Avenue from the east line of Kedzie to the east line of Albany. Apparently there have been some trucks parking in that what was a vacated street and what is still Minnesota Avenue, and the police department has requested the ability to have no parking there and then a ticket for having vehicles removed.
Motion by Alderman Donahue. Do you have a question?
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Attorney, did this go to committee, do you know by chance?
Did it go to committee?
Yeah, did it go to a committee
I
beforehand?
have no idea.
I don't think it did go to Municipal Services Committee.
Do you want it to be tabled? Or do you want to have it?
Yes.
Okay.
Just so you're aware, there are trucks parking in this street. It's behind the Pace parking lot, east of Kedzie, east of the of Kedzie Avenue, over by that, I believe it's a Shell station. And that's what I was informed the police department wanted to address.
Still table? Consensus?
We need a roll here, so motion to table by.
Okay, motion by the table by Alderman Wheeler, second by Alderman Donahue. Roll call.
Donahue.
Aye.
Donahue, aye. Hawley.
Aye.
Hawley, aye. Farinwald.
Aye.
Farinwald, aye. Thompson.
Aye.
Thompson, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Pittman.
Aye.
Pittman, aye. Pulos.
Aye.
Pulos, aye. Frausto.
Aye.
Frausto, aye. Bellato.
Aye.
Bellato, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. 10 ayes.
Thank you very much. Anything else, Council?
No.
Committee reports, Development Committee.
got a question. Yeah. Number 2, can we refer that to public health and safety? I believe it didn't go through committee of public health and safety. Since it's already taken off the agenda anyway, I think we should motion to refer to public health and safety.
That's fine. We'll just send it. Committee reports, committee development committee.
No formal report. We did meet on September 4th, and we did consider these 3 items. 2 of them had to go to zoning. The zoning happened after the community development committee meeting. We decided that it could come directly to council to approve the drafting of a ordinance, formal ordinance. The first item on the agenda was approving a business development grant application by Meyer Eye Care for a sign to be added to their building. They presented their plans and the certificate of appropriateness from the Historic Preservation Commission because it's a historic building. The committee approved a grant of up to $5,000 as a reimbursement grant, to be no more than 50% of the cost of the sign, up to $5,000. I didn't word that well, but you get the idea. So I'm making that as a motion.
We have a motion, we got a second by Alderman Pittman. Any questions?
Thank you, Mayor. Alderman Hawley, with how many, so it's more of, I guess, a procedure question. How many grants can a business apply for a year? Because I know Meyer Eye Care already had one earlier.
The building owners had that to do the facade work, and then Meyer Eye Care is doing the sign.
Understood. Thank you.
Sure.
We have a motion, we got a second, roll call.
Donahue.
Aye.
Donahue, aye. Hawley.
Aye.
Hawley, aye. Farinwald.
Aye.
Farinwald, aye. Thompson. Thompson, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Pittman.
Aye.
Pittman, aye. Poulos.
Aye.
Poulos, aye. Frausto.
Aye.
Frausto, aye. Bellato.
Aye.
Bellato, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. 10 ayes.
Thank you very much.
The next item is a motion to approve and accept the recommendation of the Zoning Board of Appeals to prepare an ordinance granting a variance for Jeff Atwell, variance on garage application that was attached to the agenda.
We have a motion, we have a second by Alderman Donahue. Any questions? Roll call.
Donahue.
Aye.
Donahue, aye. Hawley.
Aye.
Hawley, aye. Farinwald.
Aye.
Farinwald, aye. Thompson.
Aye.
Thompson, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Pittman.
Aye.
Pittman, aye. Poulos.
Aye.
Poulos, aye. Frausto.
Aye.
Frausto, aye. Bellato.
Aye.
Bellato, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. 10 ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And the last item is a motion to approve and accept the recommendation of the Zoning Board of Appeals to prepare an ordinance granting a special use permit for Ray Thomas's zoning application to put a apartment on the 2nd floor of the vault.
Motion, there's a motion, there's a second. Rita, any questions? Roll call, please.
Donahue.
Aye.
Donahue, aye. Hawley.
Aye.
Hawley, aye. Farinwald.
Aye.
Farinwald, aye. Thompson. Thompson, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Pittman.
Aye.
Pittman, aye. Poulos.
Aye.
Poulos, aye. Frausto.
Aye.
Frausto, aye. Bellato.
Aye.
Bellato, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. 10 ayes.
Thank you. Anything else? Alderman?
No, sorry.
Finance Committee, who's handling that?
In Chairman's absence, I'm presenting the minutes for the Finance Committee meeting of September 4th. Members present were Alderman Vieira, Hawley, Farinwald, Ostling, and Frausto. Alderman Thompson was absent. Also present were Janelle Hunt, Senior Accountant, and Mike Marzell, Director of Finance and Administration. There was no public comment. Before I put up the accounts payable for a motion to approve, I'd like to note that most of the items in the accounts payable are kind of routine items that are necessary for the orderly running of the city and are mostly also handled in our city appropriations. So it is important, of course, that everyone who attends the city council meeting have the opportunity to question and even object to any particular payable. And so I would request that if there are items on the payables that you are concerned about, that you raise those specifically. And it would be helpful if we would have no votes against just the entire payables group, it would be more useful to look at the items that are of concern. So with that said, I will make a motion for approval of payables in the amount of $640,693.80.
Motion, is there a second? Alderman Pauly, any questions? Roll call, please.
Donahue.
I abstain.
You abstain. Holly.
Aye.
Holly, aye. Farnwell.
Aye.
Farnwell, aye. Thompson. Thompson, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Pittman.
Aye.
Pittman, aye. Pulos.
Aye.
Pulos, aye. Frausto.
Aye.
Frausto, aye. Bellato.
No.
Bellato, no. Rita.
No.
Rita, no. 7 ayes, 2 noes, and 1 abstention.
And I vote aye.
Vargas, aye. 10, excuse me, 8, 2.
Thank you.
And I'd like to make a motion for approval of the payroll to the amount of $327,855.37.
The motion, then second, by Alderman Rita. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Donahue.
Aye.
Donahue, aye. Holly.
Aye.
Holly, aye. Farnwell.
Aye.
Farnwell, aye. Thompson.
Aye.
Thompson, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Pittman.
Aye.
Pittman, aye. Pulos.
Aye.
Pulos, aye. Frausto.
Aye.
Frausto, aye. Bellato.
Aye.
Bellato, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye.
Thank you.
All right, then I'd like a motion for approval of the 2019 FIL SSL installs by ComEd, which in English are, as I learned when I first became alderman, one of those interesting things you learn is that all wooden light poles in the city of Chicago are the responsibility and property of ComEd, and all aluminum metal poles are those of the city. So this applies to ComEd poles, and ComEd will be replacing all of the existing fixtures, the heads, with LED fixtures this year and I guess into next year. So I guess we're being asked to approve that process.
All right, so there's a motion, is there a second? Alderman Poulos, any questions? Roll call, please.
Donahue.
Aye.
Donahue, aye. Holly.
Aye.
Holly, aye. Farnwell.
Aye.
Farnwell, aye. Thompson. Thompson, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Pittman.
Aye.
Pittman, aye. Pulos.
Aye.
Pulos, aye. Frausto.
Aye.
Frausto, aye. Bellato.
Aye.
Bellato, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. 10 ayes.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Clarify, what was the 16,000 for the accounting firm? That was my question. And I was trying to get the name of the accounting firm to make a formal question, but.
Do you know the page number of the?
I was looking for it. I think it was 16,000 towards the end of the pages.
Let me see.
My printer wouldn't allow me to print out anything today.
Oh, okay. Was this Warner Rogers?
Rustin, something?
Professional service, $15,817. I see it here as professional services rendered to staff. So it's Wormer, Rogers, Dorn, and Ruzone.
That's Dave Myers' firm.
Right, okay.
That's higher than our average, so I just was questioning why so much more. I'd have to go back and check and see what. That was my issue, just to clarify to the council.
Right, but that.
Mine as well.
We'll get back to you.
And also, I just like to note in that regard, these are great questions and they're important to ask. And Chairman Osling asked me to extend also an invitation to anybody who has concerns about items in the payables to contact her, certainly before the meeting. Perhaps the issue can be resolved, or if not, it can be brought up here.
Thank you very much. Public Health and Safety Committee?
Yes, Your Honor. These are the minutes for the meeting of August the 14th. Present were Chief LaSalle King, Deputy Chief Bernie Arzab, Chief Dan Rita, Alderman Kevin Donahue, Alderman Ken Pittman, Alderman George Poulos, Alderman Dexter Johnson, and myself. Also in attendance was Mike Marzell. The meeting was called to order at 6:02. There's a motion to approve the minutes by Alderman Pittman, second by Alderman Donahue. Motion carried. There were no citizens present. Under the fire department, there's 235 EMS responses, 70 fire responses, 10 auto aid responses, and 5 mutual aid responses. Medical reimbursement services collected $29,700 for the month of July. Fire recoveries received in July, should be July. was $1,488, and false alarm fees collected in July were $240. Under calls of interest, on July the 12th, there was a building fire at 2467 West Burr Oak, and on July the 20th, the fire department assisted the police department with marine tube for evidence recovery. Under general information, union negotiations are ongoing. Marine tube and engine 2123 and 2100 were on hand for the 4th of July celebration. The eligibility list for firefighters and EMTs was posted. Oral interviews and written exam for the lieutenant's test were given. Preliminary list is posted. Under maintenance, ambulance 2162 went in for service. Estimated repairs are $98,000. Engine 2103 went in for a front end alignment and pump test. Under fire prevention, Inspector Whitlock spent a month conducting annual inspections and doing computer work. Under training, members completed 487.5 hours of training in July. Under operations, a new hose has been loaded on the engines, and the response plan was changed on August the 6th. Instead of running an engine and a truck per calls, the department will be running 2 engines out of each firehouse. Under EMS, Chief Rita is reviewing EMS reporting software and negotiating a better price for billing. Ambulance quotes for a new ambulance were presented. There was a discussion of the use of 1-800 Board Up as one of the city's Board Up resources. A quote was presented along with a signed contract previously approved by the Finance Committee. A motion was made by Alderman Poulos, second by Alderman Donahue. All in favor, motion carried. Under the police department, Officer Jerry Cologne has submitted his letter of retirement. His last day was scheduled to be September the 19th. The examination for position of entry-level police officer with the City of Blue Island has been completed. A final eligibility list has been established. 2 seats at the Illinois State Police Training Academy have been reserved. Under training, Corporal Donica and Corporal Nedved completed training related to cultural competency. Corporal Sepisi and Detective Babbitt completed training related to basic police photography. Sergeant Connors and Detective Babbitt completed the required training related to lead homicide investigation and training related to ethnic and cultural awareness. Officer Cirillo completed training related to crime scene processing, prints, and footwear impressions. Under commendations, the Alliance Against Intoxicated Motorists awarded Corporal Sepisi, Corporal Nedved, and Officer Ciccarillo with certificates of appreciation for their commendable DUI enforcement. Under injuries, Officer Strezzo remains off injured for a non-duty related injury. He is expected to return in September. Officer Ciccarillo sustained an on-the-job injury on May the 30th, and a projected return date is still unavailable. Officer Rhodes sustained an on-the-job injury to his leg on August the 8th. The extent of the injury is pending. There was a total of 2,583 calls for service. The police department collected $42,432.28 in the month of June. For cases of interest, during a traffic stop, officers recovered cannabis and a loaded firearm. The offender, a previously convicted felon, was arrested and charged accordingly. Also, officers reported to a report of a robbery. Upon arrival, officers learned that a food delivery driver was robbed. Similar robberies at the same location were subsequently reported. A detective division has developed a person of interest responsible for the robberies. Charges are pending. There were 13 firearms recovered in the month of July. Deputy Chief Arzab gave a presentation on Lexipol. Prior to Deputy Chief Cornell's retirement, an interest in updating the policies and procedures for the Blue Island Police Department had been researched. Lexipol was consulted as a resource and a vendor. Lexipol is America's leading provider of state-specific policies and verifiable police training for public safety organizations. A previously signed contract was presented for approval. The contract was signed with an effective date of May the 1st, 2018. There was a motion to enter into an agreement with Lexipol as a resource for professional public safety policies by Alderman Poulos, second by Alderman Johnson. All were in favor. The financial impact would be $12,784 annually. This was forwarded to the Finance Committee for review and approval. I would like to mention that it seems like lately a lot of contracts are being signed without going through the proper committees before they're signed. The contract with Lexipol, nobody on public safety knew anything about, and it was signed with an effective date of May the 1st. It seems like the aldermen aren't being given, the committees aren't being given the opportunity to do their jobs and review information on contracts before they're being signed. That's all I have to say about that.
Anything else?
There was no health inspection report. BEMA did not submit a report. Under Alderman's concerns, Alderman Donahue asked for a yearly breakdown on fire department training. Alderman Carr asked about the liability of having a dog at the firehouse. Alderman Donahue expressed that he believed the firehouse dog is a great thing. Alderman Carr expressed concern that the public safety committee is being skipped over. Well, I already said that contracts are being signed without approval of the committee. Alderman Donahue asked Chief King what a good rating for a police officer's performance would be for the monthly performance report. We went into executive session where we discussed police personnel matters. The meeting was adjourned at 6:58. Our next meeting will be October the 9th at 6 p.m. in the East Annex.
Thank you. Alderman Johnson, on behalf of Lucy, thank you.
Happy to stick up for downtrodden and
Municipal Services
No report. Our next meeting will be September 27th, 2018 at 6:30 here in the East Annex. Last month, the Municipal Services Committee passed the leak survey detection survey, and we have Mr. Randy Lusk here to give a presentation regarding his findings.
Welcome to the item.
Good evening. Can you hear me all right? All right. My name's Randy with Amy Simpson. We're a professional service company. We've been working with Blue Island for a number of years. I've been working with Mike and Jim trying to find some of your non-revenue water issues. One of the programs that we've done was try to find some real losses. Real losses are leakage into the ground. So the program that we conducted was a system-wide leak survey. So what this means is that we have a crew in town and we have an electronic device that we listen to every mainline valve and every fire hydrant in your system, and we're listening for sound. A leak is energy, therefore it produces sound. And this equipment that we have will actually hear the sound. And then when we hear the sound, we're able then to dive further into different equipment to actually pinpoint the underground leak if there is one. So we performed this service on 67 miles, which is all the water main that you guys have in the city. So I was asked to come and show you my findings of what we did. So we did not find any water main breaks, which is a good thing. We found 8 hydrants that were leaking, which a hydrant leaking is about 1 gallon a minute, so equals about 1,440 gallons a day. So the total that was estimated was 11,520 gallons per day was being lost just on 8 fire hydrants. Okay, when you add that up, that equals, based on the cost of water that you purchase, is $3.88 per 1,000 gallons. It equaled that you guys were losing about $14,270 in a 12-month period. So the survey itself cost $12,395, so it's a difference of about $2,000 in your favor. So this survey will pay for itself within about 10 months. Any questions on what we did, how we did it, the technology, anything like that?
Alderman? Questions? Alderman Blau?
Any other leaks? How do you detect leaks in the lines, though? Like, not in the fire hydrants?
In the lines. We listen to all the water main valves. So every water main valve that you have that's either a vault or a box, all right, we open those up.
And then we listen with our electronic sounding equipment. And if there's a leak, it's going to make a certain noise. All right, and then when we find this noise, we create a log. If you want to see the report, I have how we do it.
Did you find any of those?
We did not find any underground water main leaks. Nothing on your services and nothing on your water mains. We only find hydrants leaking. So it's a good thing that your system is tight for as old as it is. But here's the thing is you never know when something can happen. There could be a leak right now happening that you don't know about. But your system is very tight based on the survey that we completed in July.
July of this year.
This year. We finished on July 5th.
Wait, did you make repairs too?
We do not do repairs. That would have been done by Jim in the water department.
Any other questions from the Alderman? Go ahead, Alderman.
Just curious, when you say that there was a leak in the fire hydrant, is it the actual hydrant or where the connection is made? Or how did that get fixed, just replacing the fire hydrant?
It depends. Usually a leaking fire hydrant is because there's a rock that's stuck underneath the gasket that closes it. So a lot of times they have to be rebuilt. I'm not sure exactly what was causing the leak. We just know that the leak was from the auxiliary valve to the hydrant, anywhere between them. Could have been on the auxiliary valve, it could have been on the chute, it could have been on the boot, it could have been on the hydrant, anywhere between them. What we do is we close off the valve, and once the leak noise goes away, then we know it was on the fire hydrant.
Go ahead, Alderman.
In your opinion, you've done surveys for other towns of similar age as us, you're not as old, but old.
Sure.
How is that a testament to our department? Are we staying up on our is that a good rating, 8 leaks out of 60-some miles?
It's very good. It's actually, don't be offended, it's surprising.
Surprising.
Because normally we do many communities every year, and we find many leaks every year, services, valves, hydrants, it doesn't matter, we're always finding leaks, that's why this program is out there. And this was the first time that we had conducted this program for you. So, I was telling Jim, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna find all kinds of stuff, and we only found 8 fire hydrants.
I think it's a great testament to Jim and his water department,
I agree.
public works crew to stay on top of it. When we had a leak at one of my apartment buildings, they were there within the same day. It was in the street. I just think it's something that shows Jim's been on the job, what, 3 years, 4 years? 4 years. And I know he's Johnny on the spot when it comes to the water main break. So, and his crew is great. I know over the winter, I think every alderman has seen them work until the job is done in negative temperatures. They're out there. I brought them coffee a few times, and they're out. They won't stop till it's fixed. On a Saturday, Sunday, 2 in the morning, they're out there, and I think it's a great testament to our crew.
I agree.
We may not have the answer to this question, but I know that the city has reported water loss in the range of like 15–20%. Obviously, this is nothing like that. So, but from what you're telling us, it's not actual leaking, it's perhaps bookkeeping or...
Okay, this could go on for many hours. We could talk about water loss. Yes. I'm just letting you know this is something I do all the time. Water loss breaks down into a couple different categories. You have real losses, you have apparent losses. What we performed for you was real losses. We were trying to find the real losses in the ground. Apparent losses are things like you're speaking of. Meters, not accurate. Theft, people stealing, putting straight pipes in, connecting the wrong hoses, doing all kinds of stuff. You have systematic data errors, billing errors, wrong zeros. It's supposed to be in cubic feet, but it's in gallons. It's supposed to be read in 10,000s, it's only being read in thousands. All of those items are called apparent losses, and those can make your water loss or your non-revenue, which is how they want you to call it now, because it's where you're not making any money, can make it skyrocket. So those are all the issues you have to delve into on top of the real losses. So getting into the meters and the billing and the theft and getting code enforcement, making sure that nobody's stealing water. This is all part of it. It is a community project, not just a one little thing when you come down to non-revenue loss. So you guys are in the 20s. You're around 20 or 24%, which is significantly high.
Well, thank you, because it's very helpful to be snow. There's one problem we apparently don't have, and we have to focus on other problems. Thank you.
And Alderman and Randy, I don't know if Jim told you, last month, water department found 2 people that had straight piped through a meter. They got the $750 fine for illegal water service. And Linda and Jim are working on doing some other things to make sure that we find any more that might be out there.
Great. Thank you again for your service.
Thank you.
Judiciary Committee.
Oh, sorry. We have no report. The next meeting will be this coming Monday at 6 o'clock and right here.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Alderman, go ahead.
I have a comment I wanted to make to Ms. Alvarez. I didn't get a chance to respond to your email, but I'm going to respond to it, okay? I didn't forget it.
Okay,
Oh, no, what you forget. Okay.
Anything else, Alderman?
Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman,
Just a reminder that the House Walk is this Sunday, September 16th. You can pick up tickets, and it starts at the Albee House at 12 noon. And there's 4 houses and a church, I believe, on it. There's also a community cafe beforehand. And if you want to help support the Historical Society, there's a dinner on Saturday night. It's, I believe, $80 a person, and you get dinner on Saturday night, plus that includes your ticket for the House Walk on Sunday, and you don't have to stop at the Albee House beforehand on Sunday. You can just start out the day fresh with your book. So call the Albee House. I believe they're open on Fridays from noon to 4, so you can stop by there and pick up tickets as well. There's also tickets available online.
thank you. Alderman, go ahead.
I wanted to personally thank Officer Jerry Colon for his over 20 years of service to the city of Blue Island. There's a few officers in town that everybody knows, and Jerry is one of them. He's been an exceptional police officer and a lot of friends, and I'm going to be sorry to see him go.
In fact, what we should do is force him to attend so that you can say it in front of him, because he's the type of individual who doesn't want the attention, but we'll get a warrant for his arrest and bring him in here. Go ahead.
I was told that he'll be part-time occasionally. He works at Eisenhower, so he won't be gone long. We'll set him around.
Any other comments? Go ahead.
Any response yet for the missing water fountain in the lobby?
No.
Try to save water.
Any other comments? If not, let me make this comment. If you see film trucks in Blue Island, it's Chicago Fire. We're fortunate to have them filming this entire week in the city of Blue Island. Starting today, they started filming at DeMars. I think on Thursday evening, there's going to be a scene by Francisco on Broadway in that area. So say hello, be welcome, welcome them. Again, as a result of Chicago PD being here last summer filming, they had come to our office and they were interested, that future series wanted to be interested in filming in Blue Island. This is part of it. Now Chicago Fire is filming in Blue Island. Again, welcome them with open arms.
Does the city make any money with this?
Well, here's the thing. It's honestly no. It's basically PR for the city of Blue Island. It's PR for us. I mean, we do charge them for certain little things, but nothing that Chicago does. That's why they come. That's why they come. And again, we get the notoriety for the films and the documentaries in around us. Go ahead.
And I do know, like, film crews, they eat here. They're using DMARS, and they're doing some improvements in the restaurant that they get to keep.
Yeah.
So, so there is some perks for it as well.
Yes.
Good, thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to, there's no motion to return to closed session, so I need a motion for adjourn. Motion by Alderman Pittman, second by Alderman Pools. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.